Hi everybody, welcome to this presentation on Separate Science GCSE. You'll be aware that science is split into three separate disciplines. We've got biology, which is the study of living organisms, so looking at animals, plants and microorganisms. We've got chemistry, which is the study of matter, where we focus on the elements in the periodic table and the compounds that they can form and mixtures. And we have physics, which looks at how matter interacts with energy and forces, and you'll have studied topics like waves, electricity and energy. Now, you may be wondering why it is that science is featuring as an option for a GCSE. You'd be quite right in thinking that all students have to study science. And if you don't choose it as an option, you will be studying a course called the Combined Science course. Now, combined science means that you have to study biology, chemistry and physics, but at the end of the qualification, you will have 2 GCSEs in science. If, however, you decide to follow the separate science course, you will end up with 3 separate GCSEs, and they will be GCSE Biology, GCSE Chemistry, and GCSE Physics. Both the combined science and separate science qualifications are made up of 6 different exams. As you can see, there are 2 biology, 2 chemistry, and 2 physics. The main difference here is that if you take combined science, your exams last just over an hour, whereas if you take separate science, each exam will last 1 hour and 45 minutes. And that's to account for the extra content that you will have learned as part of the separate science course. As you can see, all exams will include a mixture of different question styles. So you'll have multiple choice questions, some shorter answer questions, calculations, and some extended open response questions to answer too. So the next 3 slides aim to give you a bit more information as to how the courses differ. So on the left-hand side, you've got a list of the topics that everybody will study as part of the combined science course. And on the right-hand side, we've got the additional material covered in the separate science course. So you can see for biology, we study such topics as enzymes, cells, transport in animals, and genetics. If you opt to study separate science, additionally to that, you will be having a look at the brain and the eye. You'll be looking at genetic engineering, so for example, how we genetically engineer crops, cloning, and thermoregulation, to name but a few topics. In order for you to be successful in biology, attention to detail really will be key, and you'll need to be keen to get on board with lots of new terminology. It's almost like learning a new language. I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Edwards and Mr. Bradley to talk you through the differences with chemistry and physics.
I'm Mr. Edwards, your chemistry teacher. All students will cover the topics displayed on the left-hand side of your screen. If you choose to take the separate science option, you will also study the topics on the right-hand side of your screen. Some of these topics are relatively novel and will give you a greater breadth of chemistry knowledge. Others build on the main content and will give you a greater understanding. For example, you will study the rates of reaction in the compulsory science and apply this knowledge to the Haber process, where we discuss how the use of a catalyst, temperature and pressure are all really important factors in the production of ammonium. All of the additional topics require you to have a good grasp of the basics and the ability to apply your knowledge to new scenarios. I look forward to teaching this to you in the next couple of years.
Hello and welcome to the presentation for combined and separate physics at GCSE level. So as you can see on the left hand side, it covers the main topics that are taught for all of the physics GCSE course. And on the right hand side, you will see additional content that is only found in the separate science GCSE. So the first one on there, you learn more about the structure of the ear, and how we hear, and also different types of waves such as ultrasound and infrasound. Some of those words you may be familiar with already, but we find about how they're used, how they're formed, and where they're used. We also look more at radioactivity and how radiation is used in medicine, and also nuclear fission and nuclear fusion, so release of energy and where this happens. There was also a completely additional topic in there all about astronomy, which has been very popular. And no astronomy comes up at all in the combined science. Astronomy is really fascinating. We find out more about our solar system, more about how we observe things in space, the life cycle of stars, planets, telescopes. So really, some really interesting topics found within there. And then finally, in the electricity topic, we find more out about static electricity. Again, that doesn't come up at all in the combined physics. So what is static electricity? What are the uses of static electricity? For all of the physics content and the higher physics content, there are key skills that are required for success. First of all, it's important to have strong mathematical skills. Okay, there are a lot of equations, learning equations, applying equations, rearranging equations. There's also good analysing skills and evaluation skills required when it comes to data, graphical data, tables of results, and finding correlations in data. And also, more apparent in the separate science physics is the higher level of scientific writing skills required. So not just knowing the science, but being able to communicate that in a clear and methodical way. So hopefully you'll find some of this information useful, and look forward to seeing you on the course.
So I'm sure there are some topics that came up on the last few slides that will have sparked your interest. But in order to help you make that decision, these are a few reasons why you should choose separate science. So firstly, if you've got a passion for the sciences, then this course is absolutely for you. If you'd like to understand the world around you in more detail, this course gives you the opportunity to do so. If you're keen to study science at A-level, or you're looking to pursue a career in the sciences, technology or engineering, then this course lays a great foundation for that. You will also need to enjoy a challenge and be willing to work hard. Although we're really enthusiastic about students studying separate science, we're also really keen to make sure that you make the right choice for you. So please do think again if you fall into any of the following categories. If you have a real passion for one particular science but don't really enjoy the other two, then this is not the choice for you. You're going to have to study all three in a lot of detail, so you need to have an all-round interest in all three sciences. Secondly, if you just want to do more practical work, this is not for you. Although you'll have the opportunity to complete more practicals as part of the separate science course, there is also a lot more theory alongside it too, so the two do balance out. And thirdly, if maths is a subject that you don't feel particularly confident in, then this could be a really challenging choice because some of the chemistry and physics, particularly in year 11, will require you to have a strong grasp of some of those key maths skills. If you'd like more information about the content covered in these three courses, then you can go to the Edexcel Science website and take a look at the specification documents. They will give you a full overview of everything that's covered in the course. Hopefully, this presentation has given you a good idea of the differences between the combined and separate science courses. But if you still have any further questions or would like to discuss your suitability for the course, please don't hesitate to get in touch with your science teacher. You can do so by using their school email address.